So I'm gonna give you guys 3 tips on how to pray in the way God has called us to pray using verses from Matthew 6. So Matthew 6 verse 5, it says, "And when thou prayest, thou shalt not be as the hypocrites are, for they love to pray standing in the synagogues and in the corners of the street, that they may be seen of men. Verily I say unto you, they have their reward. But thou, when thou prayest, enter into thy closet, and when thou hast shut the door, pray to thy Father which is in secret. And thy Father which seeth in secret shall reward thee openly." What this verse is saying is that it was kind of Jesus just clocking the Pharisees at this time, because he was saying they love to pray outside in the synagogues so that people can see them and be like, wow, this man can pray. That's something that we like to do as well when it's time for us to pray, whether it be like over the food, whether it be over something. We start expanding our vocabulary. We start being like, yes, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this. We're not even praying over the food no more. We're praying over everything. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but when your heart intention is just to be like, I want these people to know that I can pray good, then that's when Jesus says, verily I say unto you, they have their reward. They have the reward of people being like, wow, wow, wow. But on the inside, they're far from God. That being said, we have to make sure that our intentions and our hearts are pure. That when you're praying for the sole purpose for God to hear you, not for people to hear you. And then in Matthew 6 verse 7, it says, "But when you pray, use not vain repetitions, as the heathens do, for they think that they shall be heard for their much speaking." And then verse 8 says, "Be not ye therefore like unto them, for your Father knoweth what things you need of before ye ask him." People back then especially used to just say a whole bunch of gibberish, thinking that the longer their prayer is, the more God is actually going to listen, or God is actually going to open his ears to them. But the Bible is saying the truth is that God already knows what you want, and God already knows what you need before you even talk to him. God is not like our earthly parents where we have to communicate everything that we need. But God, being sovereign, knows what we need before we even talk to him. So God basically wants us to not always have to feel like our prayer has to be perfect, because our prayers are not perfect. God knows what we need. And God just wants you to include him in that. Like, God wants us to humble ourselves to a point that we'd be like, yo, God, I can't do this on my own. Like, God, I need you. I need this. I need this. The way life is built up, the way the devil attacks us constantly, we can't do this on our own. We need God's strength. And that's definitely something that we constantly need to pray for. So something I want to reiterate in verse 6, it says, "When thou prayest, enter into thy closet, shut thy door, pray to thy Father which is in secret, and your Father will reward thee openly." With that being said, Jesus tells us that there's a time and place where you should be praying in private. There's nothing wrong with praying publicly, but there's a time in your prayer life where you need to actually have that one-on-one with God and not just let everything be publicized. You can publicize your walk with God, which is perfectly fine. But when there's not any time where you are spending in the secret place, then that's when it starts to get hard. That's when you're out here trying to fix people without even fixing yourself. The foundation starts one-on-one, and then you're able to share God's good news, share the truth, be able to show people about God, and be able to pray for other people. With that being said, y'all, stay blessed, and I love you guys so much. And God does too. Goodbye.